any other thoughts out there about, as a retiree, maybe generating income and potentially going into recession? I mean, you talked about some opportunities in bonds and there's certain areas and you said pockets and stocks. Anything else out there that they need to consider in this type of economic environment?
Um, yeah, go to an advisor and talk to an advisor before you retire. That's an easy question. No, he didn't pay me for that, but I was just going to say that. No, I would say two asset class. So the first one is diversification. You need to make sure you're diversified. You're diversified by assets, stocks and bonds, and you're diversified inside your bond portfolio and diversified inside your stock portfolio. So that means you don't, because for example, right now, an area that's getting hit hard is international stocks. But they are as cheap as they are to the United States stocks since 2008. So you have I would qualify that as dirt cheap relative to the US. But the problem is the fundamentals in Europe, they are in a recession, because of the energy crisis caused unfortunately by the Ukraine war. So, but at some point, both those are going to come to an end. And then what you'll have is you'll have dirt cheap stocks coming out of a recession that have major market brands that you would want to take a look at. So that's a positive that you need someone to talk to you about that. Areas that you might want to look at, I hate to say this, is cash might be okay. Not on a 5, 10 year, 15 year, but with this volatility we're having right now, having instead of 1 or 2% cash, but having maybe 5 to 10% in cash is not necessarily an evil. I mean, yes, inflation's eating in at you, but you do have some downside protection, for you. That the one thing that we've done at Fundamentum is we've added the so-called alternative investments. And those are investments that tend not to track bonds and tend not to track stocks. So it's a combination of those. An example of an alternative investment would be a mutual fund that only buys the companies that are actively involved in the acquisition of another company. So when one company says, oh, we're going to go buy another company, there's a price differential of what they say they're going to pay and what's actually going to happen. And some people can arbitrage that difference. And so if you think about it, that's really, does that company close that deal to buy that company? That's what's driving that return, not the stock market. So it doesn't have any correlation with the stock market. So there's things like that are out there. But once again, that's very hard for an individual to pick up on. That I would highly recommend that you would use some type of investment professional.
Right.